Welcome back to the Chester Centurion podcast. I'm Alan Bark, and today I'm joined by Rob and Collette, founders of Loft Solutions Northwest, one of the UK's fastest growing loft insulation and storage specialists. Since launching in 2018, they've transformed from a 2-person startup into a 30-strong nationwide team, designing and installing safe, energy-efficient loft spaces that help homeowners unlock extra room while keeping their homes warmer and cheaper to run. We talk about the real journey behind the growth, saying no to the naysayers, learning on the job, building a brilliant team culture, and staying sharp through the early mornings, fitness and relentless self-development. You'll also hear how they earned PAS 2030 certification, joined eco-government schemes, and rebranded around their simple promise: your loft, our solutions. Let's dive in. So Rob, Collette, welcome to the Chester Centurion podcast.
Hello, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
You're very welcome. Listen, before we get started today, I'd love to know more about Loft Solutions. Tell us a bit about the business.
Okay, yeah, so we're a loft insulation and storage company. We fit different types of raised loft floors for storage. We also fit loft ladders, loft insulation. We do a lot of loft clearances as well. I started the business in around 2018. I've been in the construction industry since I'd left school. And Collette actually used to work for Loft Zone. So we were obviously got wind of they were looking for installers for their Loft Zone product across the UK. So me and Collette thought we'd give it a go. So that was back in 2018. Obviously, we've grown a lot since then. It just started off just me and my sister. Obviously, Collette is a star at admin and all that type of stuff, which I'm not very good at. And then I'm more of the hands-on. So I think both of our skills combined led us to where we are today, basically. We're employing about 30 members of staff. So we have grown considerably over the years.
30, you're up 30 members of staff now. Wow. Sorry, Collette.
Well, we started off as Loft Solutions North Wales, and then as we grew, we wanted to take on another area. So the Northwest is the closest, so we changed it to Loft Solutions NW. So North Wales, Northwest, and then we're planning on using that now, NW, to be nationwide. So Loft Solutions nationwide, that is coming up very soon.
Oh, wow. So the NW has kind of worked for you then, hasn't it? So North Wales.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
Nation.
yeah.
I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot. And massive expansion over 7 years to get up to 30 staff. What would you say the key to your success is? What's driven that success?
I think, well, it was good. Worked really well.
That's a hard question.
Rob has his skills in construction, so we started off just the two of us, and I was doing like the admin, customer services, marketing and all that, and then Rob was using his skills on his side, and it just sort of worked really well together in this business. And then, you know, we've just grown them by taking on fitters and admin staff, and it's just grown and grown and grown.
So I guess there's a great mix of talent a lot among the sort of senior team.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're sort of sticking to a pattern as well, I think, because obviously when we started, I was doing surveys and fitting, collected all admin, then it was just a case of getting a fitter. Then I was still surveying, doing fitting. Then basically when we had maybe like 2 or 3 fitters, I went on to like full-time surveying. And then obviously the fitting team grew, and then we had to get another surveyor. So obviously it just sort of like expands like that, really. And yeah, it's taken about 7 years to do.
But we're still growing every day, really. Doubling in Manchester, starting up in South Wales now, and then we're just sort of going to pick area by area, really.
That's incredible.
So we've got the whole of the UK covered, and then, I don't know, Loft Zone would plan to go to America, so I don't know whether we'll get something over there eventually as well.
I'm sure they've got lofts in America. I'm absolutely positive of it.
Yeah.
And listen, if we go back 7 years to the start, what motivated you to start the business in the first place? What was the driving force behind that decision, that entrepreneurial role?
Well,
we were thinking about it for a while.
Yeah, we did think about it. Obviously, because Collette working for Loft Zone.
I wasn't actually at the time we went for it, but I worked for them for 6 years doing stock management and customer service and everything. And Their product is really just amazing. It's like a brand new invention, won Best Invention of the Year at the Ideal Home Show. And we just saw the potential in it, really. And just went for it. And it was slow at the start, but then, it's just really taken off. I don't think we both expected it to take off as much as it has.
No, I think as well, because there was nothing like Loft's own store floor on the market in the UK at the time. And I know there was very limited installers at the time when we first started. It was probably maybe a handful. Obviously, there are a lot more installers now. Whether not everyone fits Loft Zone, but there is a lot of other loft boarding companies that have come out since, I think.
Yeah, because they only have so many approved installers in the UK. So obviously we're one of those.
Interesting.
And we also seen maybe one or two other companies that were slightly larger than us then, and obviously following in their footsteps and being able to create something like that.
I like.
Force, I think.
Yeah.
I like that just went for it. I think that's really cool. But if you could go back to the day that you made the decision, right? Do you remember the moment that you made the decision? What was going through your head? How were you feeling?
Yeah, I did that. Well, because I had a barber shop before this as well, so I'd been building.
Did you really?
For a few
I was your
years.
best customer.
Collette also had her own business as well. But I remember a lot of people telling me that I shouldn't sell the barbers. I'll be stupid. What are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. And then obviously I could see the potential in this. So I thought, you know what, don't listen to the naysayers and just go for it, basically.
Because in the beginning, we both had other jobs. I was working as a marketing coordinator for James Pringle Weavers, and you were doing the barbers at the same time. Yeah. So we were trying to, it was a lot of work, really.
Yeah.
I think there's a big lesson there, because in life you do get people that say you shouldn't do that. That's never going to work. How are you going to make that work? You're just going to waste your money. And you've got those people, and they're doing it from the right point of view because they care, right? But they can also hold you back from your dreams. And what you've done there is you've said, "Thank you, but I'm doing this anyway."
Yeah.
That takes a mental resilience that not many people have got, to be honest. So congratulations to you both. Brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
Really, really cool. I love that just went for it attitude. And you said it was, when you started, it was slow. Was there ever a moment where you were like doubting yourself and thinking, have we done the right thing?
I got yesterday, 7 years in.
I think we get that on a weekly basis. There's always one of us feeling like that.
Go home and I'm just like, do you know what? I'm selling. I can't be bothered anymore. And then I wake up the next day and I'm all right.
That's funny. What are some of the sort of misconceptions about running a business? How do you go about addressing them?
As in misconceptions of being early stages of business. Obviously, you require a lot of hours and hard work, and obviously there could be a few times and obviously throw the towel in as well. Obviously, I think a lot of self-development and business books have helped me with that over the years. Obviously, just not giving up. But there has been, numerous times, it's been hard, and you've just wanted to be like, is it really worth it? I did actually, a few years ago, be honest with Collette, I was thinking about leaving and obviously getting a job. I had a few interviews with BT and things like that. But if I would have done that now, then I would have massively regretted it now. It's just pushing through all the hard things, and it's so tough sometimes.
Well, there's constant challenges really and surprises, and you're constantly learning how to overcome challenges, dealing with new things, new situations that haven't come up before. And it's just a learning process. The whole thing, you're learning every day really, because there's always something that crops up you haven't dealt with before.
But then we can look at each other and think, all right, I think we've dealt with every single situation now. And then
something else will happen.
Monday, something totally different happens that we never done before. And then it's just trying to sort of adapt and come up with a solution to the problem, basically. I think running a business mainly is problem solving. If you can't problem solve, then you're going to be no good at running your own business. And
obviously dealing with people as well, employees and customers, and that can be quite a difficult task.
Customers can be the hardest ones.
Yeah.
I think, I do use this in my coaching quite a lot. As the business owner, you are the chief problem solver. But what you need to do is say, right, what went wrong? How do we fix that permanently so we can move forward? So I can't remember who said it, but fail fast, fail often, but make sure you fail forward.
Yeah,
And
it's true.
it's kind of what you're talking about. And then the other biggest skill you need as a business owner is what you said, Colette, is the soft skills, being able to deal with people, making sure that they're motivated, happy, and
Yeah,
driven. And
definitely.
it's really difficult. And from people on the outside looking in, the misconception is that running your own business is a breeze.
Yeah. And
But
that you
it's not.
can do what you want and have time off when you want,
Yeah,
but it's a lot more complicated than that,
It's
really.
24/7 really.
Yeah,
Being
you
on
for
call
sure,
24/7.
can't switch off.
You don't
for
really have
sure.
days off either. You plan a day off and then something bad happens and your phone's
Yeah,
going 20
yeah.
times and it's just, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, how do you maintain a work-life balance as a business owner? What are the sort of personal rituals or habits that you have, if any, to keep you?
Well, it's
Do you want me to go?
very stressful at times, especially with family life, because I've got my son who's 14 at the moment. I'm trying to homeschool him at the same time. So it's all about planning, really, but then not everything does go according to plan because you plan to do something on a particular day and then something happens and then you've got to drop all your plans. Yeah, so it's dedication and hard work, really.
Colette, did you say you're homeschooling
Yes, I am at the same time. So
and running
yeah, yeah.
a
So it's
Jeez.
hard going, very stressful.
Gosh, so you need to be well organized and plan your diary well for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Really cool. What about yourself, Rob?
Yeah, well, I sort of work is life and life is work. I don't really have a balance, but obviously sometimes work comes first over life and sometimes life comes first over work. It's just being able to adapt to it really. Things that keep me motivated through the day to work is obviously fitness, going to the gym, running, triathlons and things like that. I get up most mornings about 4:30 in the morning and train before work as well, and I think that keeps me sharp. Generally, I've done such a hard workout, I feel like sometimes nothing's going to be harder that day coming at me type of thing. So that's
Wow.
what keeps me
Until you
motivated.
get to work.
Until I get to
Like
work,
I was
yeah,
wrong.
but that's what keeps me motivated.
How-
Work-life balance when you're running your own company is very hard.
Yeah.
You've just got to sort of combine the two. Work is life, life is work type of thing.
So, how important is your fitness as a business owner? How much does it add to your performance at work?
I think it definitely adds to the performance of work quite a lot. Obviously, if you're keeping yourself fit and active, it keeps your brain sharp, keeps your mind motivated towards work as well. Generally, like workouts can be quite hard. And then again, coming to work doesn't seem as hard, but definitely, I think keeping yourself fit, active mind as well, not sort of like physical. A
Yeah.
lot of people obviously can't be physically active all the time, but definitely it has an impact on keeping your mind active then as well.
I'm trying to think of your local triathlon. Is it Sandman it's called or something
The
like that?
Sandman, yeah, I did the Slate Man is the Canberra's one. I don't really like swimming in the sea,
Don't
so I
you?
do a lake one, yeah, which is a little bit better. The seawater in your mouth just doesn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
I did look at the Clan one a couple of years ago, and I think you swim up and down the pier. And my daughter said,
Okay, yeah, that's a sea
um,
one as well, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, so that people can watch you. And my daughter said she'd throw things at me, so I thought I better not do that.
I'm planning on doing an Ironman next year, so
Very good,
that's sort of like the ultimate triathlon goal at the moment.
isn't it?
So,
Just
yeah.
I know. Hats off to you for
Again,
that.
there's a lot of work to be done towards that as well.
There is again, you need to have your diary sorted for that. I mean, there's three
Yeah,
pretty big disciplines you've got to get good at for an Ironman.
yeah,
And I've looked at some of the training regimes for that, and it will
pretty
swallow
brutal.
up any time that you've got left. To be honest, Rob. But pretty cool. What an achievement!
Yeah, thanks.
So, listen, in business, the landscape's moving faster than I think it's probably ever moved. And we're certainly not slowing down. How do you stay open and adaptable to change? Are there any specific strategies that help you to remain innovative?
I think having a growth mindset, as Rob said, doing self-help books, personal development, it's continuous learning. Also, a big one is watching the market, how that's working, what competitors are doing in the market, how we can stay different from competitors, how we can get a customer to pick us over them. So it's constant sort of researching and trying to keep on top of what's going on in the
Mhm.
industry and the market.
Tell us a bit more about continuous learning. I'm interested in that.
Well,
Well, if you start now, get perfect later. There's obviously a good motto. Just agree and, try and sort of like adapt and learn on the way. I feel like jumping in at the deep end and trying to learn something is a lot easier than getting told you need to learn something for a specific reason.
Yeah.
Also, you'd have to wear so many different hats, though, really, and it's learning, finance, HR, employment law, market. There's just so many different areas that you have to learn, and you're always learning, really, how to deal with employees. Yeah, it's constant, isn't it?
Again, it's something you don't really think about when you first start in a business and a one-man band. Obviously, I've had to learn a lot of things. I've never been office-based in my life, and now I am. Colette always has. But again, when you start business and you've got one or two employees, and you have to think about employee contracts, and then it just sort of like spirals and spirals and spirals, and then the more staff you get, the more things you've got to learn, and then there's other procedures and other things you've got to get into place. Really,
accounting, payroll. It's.
I think best is learning on the go, though, is definitely sort of like the best way, unless you've got all the knowledge prior. But then all the knowledge you've learned in university or anything like that never prepares you for actual real life, the situation, because it's just totally different.
Also, having good staff, I think we've retained, our staff retention is good. We've had people that have been with us for 6 years. We've had people for 5 years. We've had people leave and come back to us. So we must be doing something right.
Well, that's a really good point. What do you think you are doing right?
I think we're both quite laid back with our staff. We try to do what we can. We try to help them when we can, outside of work as well as inside of work. And Rob and I, we used to have quite a different approach to staff, but I think the bigger we're getting now, we're going a bit more
firm, I think.
Yeah, because I've been a bit soft in the past, I think. But now it's getting bigger. It's like, we can't be like this anymore, really.
But you just get a manager in place to tell
people what to do.
For example, we've got an employee that started with us. He was an assistant fitter 6 years ago. He grew to be a head fitter, and then he grew to be a surveyor, and he's just taken on the managerial role, the operations side now as well. So Jason's been with us the longest, and he's now taken the position of a manager.
It feels like there's a really good culture at Loft Solutions. It feels like you really care for your staff.
Yeah. I was going to actually touch on that with, we do company events throughout the year where we close the business for the day and we get everyone together. And then we have a talk about what's going on in the business, where we're planning on going. Rob likes to do a quiz and some games to get everyone together. So he's in charge of that.
Building bridges and pub quiz.
Spaghetti and marshmallows and stuff.
Oh, we need
team building exercises.
So that, we've talked about culture and how important it is. What kind of things do you do to make sure that you maintain a really strong culture in the business?
People together a couple of times a year.
Okay.
We do some big company events. So we close the business for the day. The team from Manchester comes. We all get together. We talk about the business, the growth. We provide lunch, and then Rob likes to do a quiz and some games. He can tell you about that.
I think it's good, obviously, because we've got quite a lot of different departments in the business now. Obviously, we've got the surveyors, we've got an area in Manchester, we've got office staff, fitters, managers. Not everyone sees each other on a daily basis. So obviously, we've got 3 surveyors that are out on the road constantly on their own. They never see any office staff. They might speak to them on the phone, but they never see the fitters. Obviously, we've got the big team in Manchester as well that obviously really don't see the North Wales side of things. So I think it's good to get everyone together, separate everyone on tables. I know it can be a bit cringy for people as well, but it does bring people together and it gets them chatting, and then it gets obviously put the face to a name, because when you've got so many staff that certain staff member has never even seen or heard of another staff member. And it's quite hard for us as well, because sometimes we don't even know who we've got employed for us. There's that many people these days, but we do know the names. But it's just a bit of a joke sometimes.
I do turn up Sundays. I'm like, who's that? Because Rob's taking someone on. But
oh my gosh,
it's It
So
is, but it's good to get people together. We also have a good staff Christmas party where we get everyone together. Everyone could get to know each other, let their hair down.
Then you see the real side of people once they've had a few drinks.
When they've had a few
and then
drinks.
you don't actually like them.
Colette, I'm more interested in how good Rob's quizzes are. Are they good? Oh no, I'm sure they're absolutely brilliant. Oh my god, yes. I'll only come along if you let me know the answers in advance.
Yeah, we can arrange that.
No, we do prizes and stuff as well. So obviously the quiz winners will get £20 Amazon voucher each, and the task will be the same type of thing. It's good for morale and get people together.
Yeah, definitely.
Seriously though, I think Patrick Lencioni talks about this, and trust is the number one attribute of any high functioning team. And the only way you build trust is you get to know each other. So what you're doing there is incredible. And I guess that's part of the reason why you've got a good culture and part of the reason why your staff hang around and come back.
Yeah.
It's for Rob's quizzes. Let's not fool ourselves.
That's what it is.
Could you offer a glimpse into the future plans for the business? You know, what's the next chapter for you guys?
Well, as we mentioned, going nationwide. That's coming. We've also doing a rebranding at the moment. So we've got added some colours to our logo, and we've got a new slogan now, which we're going to be putting up everywhere and updating. We're going to change the whole logo, but we thought because people recognise, we've already developed a brand, and people say to us all the time, don't they, Rob? Oh, we see your vans everywhere. So we didn't want to change it too much, but we wanted it more colourful and to sort of have a few more eco colours, because we're going to be doing a lot of that in the future. Which
the slogan is "Your Loft, Our Solutions." By the way, just in case you didn't see
sorry.
I'll hold it there for a second.
Your Loft,
on the next one, that'll be behind us.
Hey, I like it. Is this an exclusive? Have we got an exclusive here?
Yeah, this is an exclusive.
Very good. So you're expanding nationwide. You're already in Manchester. The business is growing really, really fast. You know, how quickly do you see the business expanding? Is it planned out? You know, have you got like a 5-year strategy in place?
We are now. We're just currently working on it because we've got so many growth plans with not just areas in the private sector, but
also like business to business. But I think it's like following the model for like a loft boarding company. It's just, we're going to do exactly what we've done in North Wales. We've done it in Manchester. Obviously, the next plan is South Wales, and then I think we're going to pick maybe 2 or 3 other areas across the UK. Then, so we've got the whole of the UK covered.
Yeah.
Also growing sort of like the business to business side of things as well. So we do a lot of work for UK eco schemes like government grants. We've just got our PAS 2030 as well. So if anyone doesn't know what that is, basically we're qualified to fit loft insulation under government grant schemes. And that's taken us a while. And, you know, we're working, I think, at the moment for about 10 to 15 different companies. Obviously, this is just in sort of like the North Wales and Northwest area as well. So we're going to be looking to grow that substantially over the next couple of years as well. Hopefully, the 5-year plan is to have pretty much the whole of the UK covered with the loft board and insulation.
Yeah, with both sides of the business, the private sector and the B.
I've got no doubt you guys are going to do it. I can tell by your energy that you're going to do it. It's so cool. And it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast today. I think there's some absolute golden nuggets in here, but I've got one more question. And it's the big one. It's the big one. So I want the top 3 pieces of advice that you'd offer someone thinking about starting their own business this month.
Yeah, so I did write a few things down because we had the question prior, which is good. Be prepared for long days, sleepless nights, and crap wages for about 5 years as well. I'd say another key thing as well is don't waste money on silly things that the business can't afford at the start. I know you might think you've got a decent amount of money in the bank, but something comes up and that money's going to get swallowed up. So just be prepared for things like that. And again, employing good people and having the right people around the table, obviously, because you can never build a business and do everything on your own. You need these key people in the chairs to help you grow.
People you can rely on.
Looking after the good and get rid of the crap is what I say.
Yeah.
And it is, things go up and down all the time. You know, you have your good stages, and you're like on top of the world, and then it's like boom, something happens again. And I think it is a constant roller coaster, and it's just working through it all and staying dedicated, really.
Very good. So to summarize, be prepared for some bloody hard work for the first 5.
Yeah,
You don't
Yeah.
expect to get paid for it, right? I like,
yeah, it is. Yeah,
you hear it so often. Don't waste money. And it reminds me of a very young company that I've helped and coached for a while. And they started to make some reasonable money on a monthly basis. And I told them that I'd rewritten their financial plan. And I flipped over my flip chart, and it just in big bold letters it said, "Don't spend it." I won't. And it's good to have a war chest if you can, and sort of I recommend 3 to 6 months worth of working capital tucked away.
Oh, definitely.
yeah, at least.
And employ great people. I hear that all the time, but
Yeah,
business is the sum of the people that you've got working in it, and you will attract great people if you run a great business.
yeah, that's true. It is
So
hard though to find good staff who are dedicated and loyal, but we have been lucky enough to find some really, truly amazing people.
Don't go into business with your sister.
Yeah,
either.
don't go into business with your sibling. That's a big one.
I'm only joking.
Yeah.
Now. We do work well together, but
I can tell you compliment each other, and you don't always see that in a family business, right? It can.
only on camera.
Yeah, only on camera. Behind the scenes is different.
No, you've got a good energy about you, and I've coached a lot of family businesses, and sometimes it can be really difficult.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It feels like you've got it right.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Don't tread on each other's toes too much either
Yeah.
in certain
No.
departments.
And just stick with
what we know.
In the beginning, we were savage, weren't we?
Yeah, we used
But
to argue a
now
lot.
we have learned to now just step back and listen to each other, and
Yeah.
because it's important.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant.
The business wouldn't run, obviously, without Collette and without myself. I know
Yeah.
not to sound big-headed, but
it's
we
a two-way thing.
yeah.
We need each other.
Love it. Guys, thank you so much. We'll have to grab a coffee. I'd love to know more.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you very much for having us as well. It's been a
Oh.
pleasure.
We'll
Thank
catch
you.